Hello my friends, today I want to show you a cool art project you can do using flowers. So for this work you need some flowers, you need a piece of paper. If you have thick paper like cardstock or watercolor paper, that will work best. If you don't, a doubled over piece of printer paper will be okay. You also need a piece of paper towel or something similar. Another sheet of paper will work if you don't have any. And something for smashing. And this is where you get a choice. You may either do the enthusiastic smashing outdoor version where you need a hammer, or you may do the slightly more chill indoor version where you need something like a spoon or the end of a knife or something like that. It's quieter indoors in my neighborhood, so I'm going to do the indoor version. If you want to do the outdoor version, this is your official warning to be very aware of the surface that you are using your hammer to smash on top of, because I have dented things that I didn't think would dent by hammering on them. So maybe go out to the driveway or the sidewalk or something if you're going to do the hammer version. To start, you're going to want to pick a flower and take off a petal. We're going to get some of the color, some of the pigment out of these petals smashed onto our page, and then we can use that to make some art. We can use it to make a card or some stationery. All sorts of things will work. I'll leave it up to you to decide what to do with it. You're going to cover up your paper with your paper towel, and then if you're outdoors, you're going to hammer carefully. If you're indoors, you're going to push down hard with your smashing implement and push a little bit down and a little bit to the side. And much like making leaf rubbings, how it kind of takes practice to get good, this kind of takes some practice. So don't worry if your first one is more experimental. The nice thing is they kind of look cool no matter what. Let's check this and see. There's my smashed flower, but I've got to get the flower off. If I kind of roll my finger to the side, there. That is pigment smashed out of the flower. Let's see what else I can do. You may find some flowers that don't work very well for this work, and that's okay. When I get really into doing this, I like to have an experimental page off to the side so that I can test my flowers first before I put them on the page that I'm making really nice. My favorite thing to do with this is to make stationery and send a letter to someone because I like writing letters. I also like getting letters, and I think that just a little bit of this on the corner of a page makes it look like the fanciest letter ever. You see how some of my color is bleeding through the paper towel? That's a good sign that you're on the right track. If your paper towel starts ripping, that just means you're pushing a little too hard, so just go a little lighter next time. See, we've got that totally smashed up petal on here. We're going to peel it off again and see what it left behind. Okay, I think that is really interesting. I don't know if you can see the difference on camera, but this flower is pinkish red. But the pigment that got squished onto the page is definitely more in a purplish sort of color. That's interesting. I really like how the little veins on this one showed. I'm going to try one more, and then I think I'll press pause, finish my work, and show you what it looks like at the end. Let's try this yellow one and see if it works. Remember, like I said, not every flower petal seems to work. There have been some I've tried that don't have bright enough pigment, or they don't want to get smashed very well, or for whatever reason, they just don't work. Oh yeah, the yellow worked a bit. I'm going to press pause for a sec, and then I'll come back and show you what I made. Alrighty, I'm all done. I found that definitely the favorites of the ones I brought in were these. They brought some really beautiful color. Like, check that out. That one came out really nice. These ones were a little bit less controlled when they got smashed. Same with these yellow ones that didn't smash out really well, but I still like how they looked. I made the dog bark a lot by banging on things. She's a little bit cross right now. So keep that in mind if you bang on things. Maybe show your dog so they don't get, too concerned with the strange banging that is happening in their house. And remember, if you're working on thinner paper, to pound really carefully if you're using a hammer, and peek underneath and check your paper every once in a while to make sure that you haven't torn it. If you do, just cut out the scrap that you have and make something little with it. It's okay if part of the page has a tear. And also keep in mind that you probably want a spare piece on the back because some of it is going to bleed through the back. If you put something you love underneath here, you might be sad later. All right, if you make something, I would love to see what you create. If you want to write a letter, I would of course love to have a letter, but I would love to see a picture of it also. Remember that you can do art by just like placing different petals in different places, maybe make a little animal and draw a face on it, or do it more like this kind of stationary design way that I did. Whatever works for you. If you have something cool that you make, I would love to see it afterwards. And remember, if you don't have good flowers in your yard, please check before abducting them from other people's yards. Some people mind and some people don't, but you should always ask first. Have a good day. I miss you. Enjoy making your art, and hopefully we can do this together in person sometime. Bye.